What's up, guys, and welcome to the podcast. Officially want to welcome you to the Ben Morgel Show because this is my first podcast, so I appreciate you listening. I want to go over briefly how this podcast is going to work so that you can follow along with our epicness as it goes, okay? So, Mondays are Man Advice Mondays. Originally, I used to have some content out there called Man Advice. It's short for Man Advice, and I still want to keep that a thing, keep it kicking, but I've recently got into more techie stuff too with my work and job and stuff, and so Mondays will be Man Advice Mondays, Wednesdays will be Tech Wednesdays, which I know it doesn't friggin' rhyme, but just go with it. And then Fridays will be Freedom Fridays. See, went back with the rhyming. So, Man Advice Mondays, Tech Wednesdays, Freedom Fridays. I try to think of something else for the Wednesdays. Every week you can expect to see 3 podcasts. There'll be video on my YouTube, and then there'll be audio on my podcast, and I hope to make them a lot of fun. The Man Advice will be anything from hygiene to finance, dressing, talking to people, social skills, everything that I have learned. I just want to tell you from my experience, take it or leave it, whatever you want. I don't really care. I have knowledge that people have given me and I want to share it, right? So, that being said, today is Man Advice Monday. So congratulations and get ready for this. I don't know where to look, honestly, because I see myself. For those of you listening, you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but as I'm recording this, I don't really know where to stare. I don't want to just stare at the camera because then I just kind of looking around. Anyway, there's a long story. I was trying to set it up so then I had the better view with the 4K, but it turns out I can have 4K on both sides of this recorder. So I don't know. We'll just run with it and see how it goes. We're going to improve, which is what this whole freaking podcast is about. So if I'm not real with you guys, I don't expect you guys to actually really take my advice, right? So, and I don't really care if you do. I want you to, but I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. You can spend it. You can throw it in the gutter. I don't care. It's going to be great, though, right? So there's no pressure. Do what you want with it, okay? Welcome to the show. Okay, so today what we're talking about, I think it will, if you stay to the end, you'll really get some good knowledge and maybe some info. Maybe you can help somebody else. I think it's more for you probably personally because this is the spans of people that this involves, right? So I've been on both of these spectrums. If you feel, not that you are, but if you feel like a tub of lard, and you're not, right? But you just feel like you're way heavier than you need to be. That's what I felt. I heard comedians talk about being a tub of lard because they were larger comedians, and I was like, I wasn't as heavy as them, but I felt like a tub of lard because I would get winded doing things I used to not get winded doing because I ran track and field for 8 years, right? Played football, basketball, be it race BMX, I was active. And then there was this season where I wasn't active anymore. And so, but I was active at eating. I could have won contests taking down freaking Buffalo Wild Wings, macaroni and cheese. Kidding me? Oh my gosh. So if you're on that spectrum, you're just like, Lord, I know I'm a little large and in charge and need to make a change. Even if you're a big frame dude and you know you're always going to be in the 230s, 240s, 250s, but right now you're 300, right? That's an awesome improvement. Not everybody's going to get to a 145. It's just not going to happen, right? So, that being said, if you're on that end of the spectrum, all the way to if you are so skinny, you're such a rail that when you go out on date night, you grab onto your lady's hand because you love her, but also because you don't want to blow away in the wind if there's a strong gust. I got you covered, right? This is advice that I think will work for all of you. I'm going to touch on some pain points that I've experienced. I've been doing off and on working out and strength training different things since I was 17 or 16. Technically before that was school sports, but I really got more serious with it then. And so I want to tell you guys how this all works, what I've noticed. And so if that's you, if you fall in between there, which is probably everybody listening, congratulations. I'm about to really touch some nerves and talk about some things. And it's really simple, right? It always is. It's always really simple. It's like saying no to a donut. It's super simple, but until the donut is staring you in the face through that nice little glass thing at 7-Eleven, then it no longer becomes simple, okay? So I'm going to talk to you guys about this, and let's get into it. So I have done and tried just about everything fitness-wise that is healthy or safe. Granted, one of the things I did was like a stack way back in the day, and now they call it close to steroids, but it wasn't. It was still natural. It was just a lot of testosterone. And that I don't recommend to anybody. That was crazy. I went from 50 pounds on the chest press to 315 in 30 days and bruised my sternum. And I looked the same. I was a stick, but I just gained a lot of strength really quick. And then My body couldn't maintain it, and they actually took that off the shelves. I had to go on a post cycle. If you don't know about that, it's a lot to explain. Maybe I explain in another video. So I've tried those things, right? Because I was a stick trying to get big. I've also been big and not big like I wanted to be, trying to become a stick again. And there's all this talk out there about how, you can only lose so much fat per week, and you can only do this. So you can only, like, if you eat this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. And most of it is told like this, right? If you can't see me, I got my hand out, and they're like, hey, I know the secrets to keto, pay up, right? I know the secrets to this, pay up. I get it. Money makes the world go round in a lot of ways, and it's great. But I have spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars paying for PDFs, which some of you probably have, to like bulk, right? Right before football season, a couple months before. I'm paying hundreds of dollars to a guy in friggin' Sweden. That's a Swedish Instagram bodybuilder to teach me how to build. And I'm eating 36 ounces of potatoes, which is like what your grandma makes for Thanksgiving. Every meal, 3 meals a day, and thinking like, how am I gonna hold this in? Lord, this is just crazy. And that was just part of what I had to eat for bulking. And I quit, right? I couldn't do it. I literally was, I don't know if I put my numbers in wrong in the PDF or what, but I didn't have a big enough stomach to eat what he wanted me to eat. And but then you see all the success stories of that. I've done more strict dieting things where I talked to the people and I told them I puked my guts out, and they said, that's what you're supposed to do. Don't be a pansy. They said it in different words, but it was like a fasting thing where you drink all this juice, and I was like, it was bad, right? Called them up, and they were like, and they were awesome. They're awesome people. Still talk to them today, but they said, yeah, that's how you lose the weight. You puke up your guts like crazy from this stuff. Not a good thing to do, right? So I've tried all sorts of things to do different things for work and stuff, where it's like, maybe I need to be a little bigger, or sports, maybe I need to be a little trimmer, maybe I need to be lighter on my feet so I can run faster, different things, whatever, right? And you probably have too. And I'm telling you, if you are like me, you've gotten so discouraged after like the third or fourth thing, especially if it's starting to affect your pocketbook. And the suckiest part is you see all the success stories. And now with AI, you don't know if they're success stories, right? Because I've seen freaking computer guys on Photoshop or whatever the heck it was, one of these apps, and they took a pizza and made a person out of it. That's crazy. Like with coloration and all, I don't even know how they did it, right? And you probably know what I'm talking about. And a lot of people are Photoshopped that you see anyway. And then you have like even, this isn't FaceTime, but FaceTime filters they'll take the acne off your face, or a lot of it, and it's just automatic, right? So you don't really know what to believe. I'm gonna tell you what I found that works. And I've listened to Navy SEALs that talk about this in real life, like not with fitness. I've listened to other people talk about it with business and different things. And it's the suckiest thing in the world, but it's also the truest thing in the world with a lot of this, okay? So there's this common thought that simplicity is messy. And it really is, because we want to make things really complex, maybe because partially we want to like pull into that whole crappy victim mentality and say we gave an honest effort, but it's so complex that, oh no, now I can just talk about it while I'm chugging a beer with you about, at a bonfire, like, yeah, that's why I still am 100 pounds overweight because, of this. And then you blame the program or you blame this. And sometimes that's okay, right? But that's why I say simplicity is messy, because it really is. It's so hard to make the first step into simplicity that sometimes we just miss it, right? And if we would just give it an honest effort in doing the simple things, which you probably heard before, it will honestly change your life. But we don't see the results right away, and you have to be okay with that. Now, I have buddies that are very extreme on this, and they will say you have to embrace the suck, and maybe it'll take 5-10 years before you ever see any success. I don't believe in that. If you read the Bible, there was long success and there was short-term success. And I believe that if you're giving it to God and you write out your plan and all that good stuff, you'll see success when you're supposed to see it, and it won't be too long for you and it won't be too short for you, right? So this is what I want to say, give you a little bit of my story. I applied my principles and some stuff that I learned, and I applied patience and some different things, and I lost 75 pounds in 3 months. In about 14 or 15 days, I peed out about 5 pounds of water weight from my fat cells and looked completely different. Now, I didn't do no hocus pocus stuff. I didn't do no crazy stuff. I didn't do nothing. I followed a very simple plan and catered it to my needs, which is very important. I'm holding a battery. I don't know why, but you just pick up things on your desk, and I don't know why I have a battery. Anyway, so, and if you're listening, you can't even see that. Anyway, I hope this is an informative and entertaining for you. I'm trying. This first podcast, right? So I lost 75 pounds in 3 months. people say that's theoretically impossible. I don't know what to tell you. It is, but if you haven't noticed by listening to different things, these people that tell you this stuff is impossible also just came out and said that Lucky Charms are better for you than steak. Now, a lot of us would love for that to be true, but it's not. And that's an article now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a point too, and I'm not getting conspiracy, I'm not getting weird, I'm not trying to do any of that stuff, political, nothing. I'm just saying, if someone tells you can't do this, it's impossible. They said that about the 4-minute mile, and we passed that, right? They said that about marathons and ultra marathons, and people like David Goggins are telling them, whatever, piss off, right? We're gonna do it. So you have to listen to your body, and you have to realize that some of the stuff you've been getting a smoke show with a lot of stuff, okay? This is one thing I want to tell you on top of all those courses, is that when we're on the topic of courses, is depending on the course, and go with your gut feeling, don't join a course if you know you need support. Like, that's why you quit. You know, if you're one of the people that just, you join a gym for a month, and then you join Orange Theory for a month, and then you join a diet plan for a month, and then it's just consistent. And you'll know, because normally it's like, if you're a 2-weeker, if you're a 3-weeker, that's when you just quit. And then you have a boatload of excuses that you never had a week before when you were really excited, and maybe we're losing some weight, maybe your shirt was a little looser fitting. I don't know, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. If that's you, do not pay any more money for a course. Please, don't pay any more money for a course if they don't offer some sort of support or motivation that comes through text or email or a weekly call. Accountability and support is what you need if that is you, okay? That's what I wanted to say. So, I said it. Now, this is what I need to tell you. This brings me to my next point. The simplest things in working out have the biggest dividends. It's like, it becomes like investing in Tesla or Apple at ground level, knowing they're gonna blow up. You know what I mean? Which nobody did. We didn't know. That's why people didn't invest, right? But this is like, it's a game changer because it'll apply for any of you. If you want to gain weight, muscle, you want to lose weight, fat, whatever, it should work, okay? I know I need to drink 8 ounces of water every day. 8 glasses of water every day. About 64 ounces to 120 is what I know my body really likes. I'll be lucky if I drink 15 to 20 ounces of water a day, right? If I'm being honest with myself. Because I haven't been disciplined in that. I used to be disciplined in that, and it's something I'm building back in, right? So that's another thing on top of all this, is give yourself some freaking grace, but just enough where it's like, it's okay where I've been. I'm saying my past is cool. It's all right? When the past comes up and goes, oh yeah, you were fat in the past, I don't give a rip. I'm not in my past anymore. But from this day forward, I'm gonna freaking be disciplined and set up some consequences that are good for me if I don't. Like, man, I have a movie budget for $30 a month, right? If I don't drink my water, I have to give $10 out of that movie budget and put it towards healthy eating or something, right? And you have to be strict with those consequences. It'll really help you, okay? Now, drinking the amount of water that your body needs to flush out toxins and all the crap that is in your body is a very good thing to be consistent with. Alertness, everything, mood, all of it, I'm telling you, drink your water, okay? Write this down. Water. 64 ounces a day. Drink it. Don't listen to the hype. Drink what your body needs. If you're full and you don't want any more water, don't drink any more water. But if you know you're dehydrated, drink some water, right? Look up the signs of dehydration. Don't be guzzling things. Sip it throughout the day. People say 8 ounces of water a day is good. That's awesome, okay? Obviously, listen to your body. The other thing is sleep. Now, if you're anything like me and you work a lot, and I've worked graveyard shifts, I've worked all sorts of shifts, you don't get enough sleep. And guys especially think that it's this big faux pas. Literally, I've told a couple people this, I told my roommate this, and recently, that my buddies back in the day, when we all worked crazy hours, we made a contest out of it of who could get the least amount of sleep and still like power through the day. How stupid is that? But I know a lot of you guys are doing that. If there's ladies listening too, you're probably doing that too, right? It's your body's like rehabilitation in sleep. And I know you've heard that before, but if you ain't doing it, you don't believe it. So 8 hours of sleep, 7 to 9 is ideal for dudes. Women apparently need like 10 because they got some different organs than we do, and they need to like rejuvenate those too. But I'm telling you something, if you're drinking more water, consistently and you're getting good sleep, you will lose so much more weight than if you did the exact same things you're doing, routine, everything, you're hella disciplined, all that stuff, and you're not doing that, you're not going to lose the same amount of weight. I guarantee you, and it can happen. Okay? And if you do, it's going to be miserable. All right? So water, sleep. Better be writing this down. Unless you're driving and listening to me, save this podcast, let's do it later. Okay? Write it down. Okay. This is the other thing. Some people say it, some people don't. Let me explain it like this. You could walk into high school or college and have just this kick-ass, excuse my French, but kick-ass attitude about yourself. I'm going to take on college. I'm going to get 4.0 GPA. I'm going to make friends. I'm going to do all this different stuff. And you run into a few bullies. And within a couple months, they have changed the image you see of yourself. Big time, right? And then once your brain starts believing that image, you don't have that motivation anymore. You're lackluster. You don't want to go out. You don't want to hang out with people. You don't even care. You start failing your classes, right? And we've seen it happen. We know friends that have had that happen, and they just lose their sparkle, essentially. Or I don't know, they lose their shine. They don't have that zip to them anymore. It's like someone pulled all the caffeine out of them, and now that's just how they are. And they just blame life, right? The same is very true with weight loss, and the people that lose weight the fastest know this. That it's not stupid, as weird as it may seem, to find a picture of what you want to look like, even if it's unattainable in the next 5 years. You want a picture of what you want to look like on the cover of Men's Health, right? And you cut out the head and you paste your face in there and you look at it and you close your eyes every day and you picture yourself looking that way. Because it's not that you're trying to like manifest it to just automatically happen. You're trying to wreck the image in your head of you being large or you being too skinny, because that's all you know. So that's what you see. So that's what you believe. So no matter how hard you work at it, it's like the elephant that's tied to a chair, right? He's programmed to know that chair, he can't move it. Even though the chair weighs like 1/10 of an ounce compared to what he weighs, and he could just yeet that thing. It's not even attached to the ground. But in his head, he doesn't believe he can. A lot of you, that's it. That's what's stopping you, and you won't even do that. All you have to do, you can just hide it. You can hide it in a journal or something so no one even has to know if you have roommates or whatever, and look at it every morning and every night and go, you know what? I'm heading in that direction. I'm going to look that way someday, and in my own way. You might not have the ability to have a 10-pack. Maybe you don't want to get to 6% body fat. Maybe that's what your person that you cut out the picture looks like. But at least it's progress to where you want to go, okay? So I accredit that to that and Jesus as two of the biggest factors to me losing 75 pounds in 3 months, because I saw it. After about a month of looking at that picture that I had picked of myself, which happened to be Zac Efron from Baywatch, I did not look like him in 3 months. But I was sure not 30% body fat anymore. I was 6 to 10. And that was like at the fitness place, like holding them electrodes, looking. I had dropped some weight and I felt wonderful. Running was amazing. All that, right? Water, sleep, mindset, and good food, okay? Sylvester Stallone says, one of my favorite quotes by Sylvester Stallone, and it's not very well talked about, but that's all right, is eat your junk in the morning. If you know, let's think of a good example. If you know that you're going to be, maybe like a friend came over, they spent the night or something, and it was their birthday and they brought you a piece of their cake, right? And you don't want to fudge up your diet. Eat that cake in the morning and then eat clean the rest of the day, because your body has time to burn it off throughout the day. But if you eat it at night, your body you're just sedentary. You start slowing down, you get tired, you take a nap, you don't mean to, you fall asleep for 8 hours, whatever. That cake's just sitting there. Don't do that. Eat your crap in the morning, all right? I'm gonna give you another little tip. If you do like yogurt and you like fruits and fruits, and you just have sweet tooth cravings at night, get you some good Greek yogurt or whatever type of yogurt you want, and take some frozen fruits. You can get them all these really cheap, and a bowl of that, and just microwave the fruits until they're soft enough to eat, but they're still cold, and pour them in the yogurt, mix it up. After about a week of doing that, you ain't gonna want sweets. It's the best thing ever. You can add honey to it, whatever, and it's really good for you. It'll help you. And for those of you that are eating 3 sleeves of Oreos a night, that's a way better. Your calorie deficit from that to that is, it's unbelievable, right? So, this is my last piece of advice for you guys. So I just want to reiterate, simplicity is messy. If you have been doing these things for years trying to lose weight, trying to get on trends, trying to bulk, whatever. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I believe in you. You can get to the body style that you want to get to or closer for whatever your body frame is, right? You can improve, is what I'm saying. Water. What you need for your body. You can look it up, like your size and height and all that stuff, whatever. But about 64 ounces is a good start, right? Especially if you're drinking nothing but coffee or beer or whatever. Water. Get, if you're a dude, 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night and start going to bed at the exact same time. It's some circadian rhythm. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm working on a lot of these things. There's a lot of habits to build, right? The ones I built worked tremendously for me. And the ones that I'm working on, I'm telling you that I've seen improvements on. So then you should work on them too. We're all in this together, right? So with this weight loss stuff or weight gain, so we got water, we got sleep, we got visualization and looking at it. What do you actually want to look like? So you can start believing something different than being fat or believing that you're always going to be a beanpole, whatever, right? Because I've been both. I understand it sucks. So that's just a really nice little hack to get you to start believing and seeing yourself different. And then even if it's funny and it's just like the head isn't taped on right, whatever, it's hilarious, but your brain's still seeing it, okay? And then obviously watching what you're eating. And I wouldn't eat anything after 7 o'clock at night. And if you do, yogurt and fruit, okay? That's a long podcast. I don't mean to make them so long, but I think there's a lot of information in here for you. And see how simple all this stuff is? It's making sure you drink water. It's just a choice every day of like, I'm gonna have my 6th cup of coffee. No, I'm gonna drink water instead. And then tell yourself like, it's gonna be all right. Like, it's just make it another day. Maybe I'll drink my 6th cup of coffee tomorrow. And then tomorrow you just drink water. Keep making it to tomorrow, right? And before you know it, you'll be there. So same with food, and you know what you shouldn't be eating. And you don't have to be eating crazy. Eat natural, and you'll be all right. And I'll do more videos on that soon. But this is the last thing I want to leave you with, okay? This is the last thing I want to tell you. If you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you don't know the story, you might not even know them. They're the influencer, you don't even know a person that you're thinking of, but you know how sometimes you compare yourself to someone and you're like, I bet you somebody else is doing the same thing, but they're having a better time with it or whatever. This is what I'm gonna tell you. Statistically, if you okay, let's say you're on day 14 of just drinking water, getting good sleep. Maybe you got some good positive affirmations in the morning. You're looking at your picture that I told you to cut out. And then you're, spending time with God and you're working out consistently and you're just doing all the good stuff to help you feel better, look better, all that different stuff. And you're on day 14 and you're starting to lose some motivation. And you start comparing with somebody else, which is just terrible. I understand, don't do it, but easier said than done. This is what I want you to realize and tell yourself, okay? Odds are the person you're comparing yourself with quit 11 days ago because it got hard. And you've stuck with it for 14 days. You have to switch your mindset. Instead of, I've only made it 14 days, which is hard to do, but you just got to stop yourself and be aware and be like, damn, I made it 14 days. I'm almost to breaking a habit. I'm almost to creating new habits. I'm doing really good, right? You have to be your own cheerleader because a lot of you, which I'll talk about in another video, hopefully soon, a lot of us expect other people to fill the voids that we need to show up for ourselves. Parents and family and friends and loved ones and romantic relationships, all that stuff, they have their place to be there for you, show support, show love, pick you up when you're down, all that stuff, right? It's biblical, it's awesome. But there's certain things where you expect them to do things for you that you're supposed to be doing for yourself, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, holding yourself accountable, right? You gotta be your own cheerleader. You gotta start, and they're there to help you, especially if some of you have been maybe drugged through the mud your whole life or part of your life. That's great, but there is a serious hidden victim mentality in always needing something from somebody else and not holding yourself accountable and realizing I have to be my own drill sergeant. I have to be my own, I'm gonna get up my own moxie, my own muster, you know what I mean? And I have to do that in my own life. I was 160 pounds and maybe 8% body fat just recently, and I'm trying to bulk and not have too much fat on my body, but have enough fat to feel my muscles and all that stuff. And now I'm almost 60 pounds over what I was and enjoying it, but I have to hold myself accountable. I have to get myself, even with the water, or the food, or whatever, right? So anyway, this is a long podcast, but I just wanted to tell you all those things, and I'll see you on Wednesday. So to wrap up, go back and listen, or hopefully you're taking notes. As always, thanks for watching the Ben Morgel Show. I hope your head stays clear and your tread stays dirty. See you Wednesday.